Hello everybody. Today we are going to start another topic, the darkling thrush, which we have not touched yet. So we will first begin with the questions, the MCQ questions from the darkling thrush for the IAC students. All right, that is a difficult poem. You had all requested for it, and so you will get it first today. One more thing that I would love to tell you is, you see, because many of you are asking me about the figures of speech and the different types of figures of speech that is common, which will be a very common type of question for your MCQs. What I'll do is the short videos, that there are shorts that is also made. So I will make the shorts so that you can prepare the figures of speech over there only. All right, so you'll have short videos on maybe one day simile and examples of simile, one day personification, examples of personification, one day metaphor, one day the different visual imageries, one day maybe you'll get to know the hyperbole, all the different types of figures of speech you'll get to know over there one at a time. Okay, those are very short videos, maybe for 1 minute, not even for a minute. So you'll get them, and from there you write them down so that you can practice. All right, and along with that you'll also get your MCQs as you are going to get today. So that's all. Let's begin the topic. Hello everybody, let's start our topic. Today's topic, the darkling thrush. What are the questions for today? We have not discussed darkling thrush till date, so we will be discussing darkling thrush. Those who are asking me for more questions from Tempest and the other topics that are already discussed, don't worry, I'll soon come up with them. But let's first do one model test paper at least for every topic. Then we will again go to the second the day 2 of Story of an Hour, day 2 of the Tempest, like this. All right, don't worry, all of the questions will be solved. So the darkling thrush, multiple choice questions. What is the first question? Which of the following establishes the setting of the darkling thrush? These questions, I tell you, I guarantee you that those who are new to my channel, those who are already here with me, and we are the big family that we are for all of you, you already know that the questions that I bring over here are questions, which are very probable in most of the schools around. Okay, most of the ICC schools, and I hope you'll be able to solve all of them, and you'll be able to find out how well you are prepared. So those who are joining my channel today itself, so you are very new to it, so you start solving the questions yourself, and then try to find out how much you are scored. Okay, and also then write down if you made any mistake in the question. If you think that maybe question number 1 you have solved it incorrectly, then copy the question and write that question's answer in your copy, so that you can remember that okay, this is the answer to this one, because these are probable questions, and I can guarantee you, at least if you practice from here, you will get 4 to 5 questions from each chapter that I solve over here common in your ICSE exam. All right, I can sorry, ISC exam, and be very sure about that. So it is better that you follow and keep a note of where you make a mistake, or where you go wrong, or which one. See, whichever is right, you don't have to worry about that. If you solve it correctly, you don't have to write anything. But if you think that you have made a mistake somewhere, copy it down in your copy, keep practicing. All right, which of the following establishes the setting of the darkling thrush? Setting. What is the setting of the story? What is the meaning of the word setting? Setting means where it is happening, like which is the place where this thing is taking place. Frost was spectre grey, a coppice-gate. Strings of broken lyre. Lyre is that instrument, the string instrument, and the household fires. So the setting that is best expressed is frost was spectre grey, because what is the main setting? That everywhere it is frosty, it is extremely cold. That is the main setting, isn't it? The others are true, that is happening in the story, but happening in the poem, but it is not the main setting. Okay, which of the following word best expresses the meaning of outlined in the darkling thrush? So outlined, what is the meaning of the word? See, outlined is not a word which is there in the dictionary. You may not find this word in the dictionary, but you see, this is the word that was found by Thomas Hardy, our poet. So what is the meaning for which he used it? Outlined. Is it on display? Is it revived? Is it leaning out, or is it escaped? Yes, it is leaning out. Next, coming to question number 3. Which of the following is not an alliteration? Yes, all those who are telling me about the alliteration, about the figures of speech, you will try this on your own. What is an alliteration? Alliteration is a repetition of consonant sounds twice or more than 2 times in a line, like forest, ferny, floor, F, F, F. So over here you see C, century scop. So this is obviously an alliteration, cannot be our answer. Some blessed hope. Here nothing is repeated. Some is S, blessed is B, and hope is H. This is not an example of alliteration. We will also check the others. See number C, winters dregs made desolate. D is repeated, isn't it? Dregs and desolate. And number D, his script, the cloudy canopy, CC, that is repeating, so that is also an alliteration. So option number B is not an alliteration. Coming to question number 4. Which of the following is not an example of visual imagery? What is a visual imagery? You see, visual imagery means when you get an idea, like as if when the poet is writing the poem, you get an idea of it in your mind, like it is like a pen picture. You can see it. When the poet describes the cloud cover, okay, then when the poet describes the weakening eye of the day, like slowly it is during sunset, the bright light diminishes slowly it is becoming dark. It is like an image in your mind, isn't it? You seem to see it in front of your eyes. That is a visual imagery. But you see, wind his death lament, this is not visual imagery. This is something which is related to the sound, isn't it? So auditory, it cannot be the visual imagery, it is auditory. So wind his death lament is not an example of visual imagery, correct? Coming to coming to the next part, this is extract based questions. You'll be given an extract and accordingly questions will come. Read the lines given below and answer the questions that follow by choosing the correct option after each. At once a voice arose among the bleak twigs overhead in a full-hearted evensong of joy illimited. So this is the extract. Questions from here are: number 1. Whose voice was heard? Is it God's voice? Is it the poet's voice? Is it the people's voice? Is it the thrush's voice? So it is obviously thrush. Thrush is the bird whose voice is heard. Alright. So is it a poem? Thrush is a bird whose voice is heard. Okay. Poem. Where was the voice heard from? In the woods, among the leaves, among the bare branches, hiding in the bushes. This is also very common. Directly from the book, it is among the bare branches. Why bare branches? You see, during winter, you see all the leaves fall from the trees. Okay. And what happens? Only the branches or the twigs remain. And on top of those bare branches, which does not have any leafy cover, isn't it? Does not have any leaves around it. There, on the bare branches, the bird is sitting and singing its song. Among the leaves, there are no leaves only on the tree during winter. So it is not a chance that option B is correct. Next, number 3. How does the tone of the poem change at the end of the poem? The tone slowly changes, isn't it? After some time, we see the poems, the tone of the poem slowly changes. It changes to what? From sadness to happiness, despondency to hope, negativity to positivity. There is no change. There is no change is obviously incorrect. Negativity to positivity, not completely positive. The poet is not completely positive. He does not feel that okay, tomorrow would be a better day or the next century will be a better century. No, sadness to happiness, he is not completely happy also. He thinks that maybe there is a kind of hope. So which one is the best option? Despondency to hope. Next, coming to question number 4. The poem was written at dash, at the end of the century. Now you'll have to find out the best option here, as I've already told you before. The poem was written at the end of the century, the middle of the century. Middle of the century is completely wrong. Forest place, yes, it is a forest place, yes, it is a cold area, but what is the best option over here? The end of the century, because throughout you see, you get an idea that something is happening, the end of something is being marked. So which is the best option? Obviously, end of the century. Number 5. Which of the words don't show pessimism? What is pessimism? Pessimism means negativity. What is the opposite of pessimism? Optimism. Positivity and pessimism is negativity. So which of the words don't show pessimism where there is no negativity? Broken is a negative word. When we feel broken, it is a negative word, isn't it? Desolate, everywhere there is emptiness, it is desert-like. So desolate is also negative. Canopy is just a cover. Okay, so this does not mark any negativity. So this is the right word. Weakening is also like weak, something that is weak and is ending. That also has a negative idea. So this is also not right. Next question, number 6, today's last. How can the thrush's song be best described? Before we move to the question, if you have still not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, and hope you will be there with me and will be supporting me, and I hope we will have a big family. So how can the thrush's song be best described? Is it melodious? Is it irrelevant? Is it hopeful? Or is it devotional? So thrush's song can be best described It is not extremely melodious, like like a beautiful bird, or like a peacock, or a beautiful bird singing like a nightingale. Okay, no. Is it irrelevant? No, it is relevant. Is it devotional, something godlike? No, it is hopeful. The song, the way it was singing of Joy Limited, it was providing everybody around hope. All right. So here we come to an end with the Darkling Thrush. A portion of Darkling Thrush is done. Some of the important questions are discussed. I hope you've scored well over here. Do write to me how much you have scored, and hope to meet you soon with the poem Birches and many more questions from the other topics for semester 1. Bye bye, everybody. See you soon.